Thank you for downloading this in-ear entertainment podcast. You're listening to Shakespeare's Sonnets. Sonnet 16. But wherefore do not you a mightier way make war upon this bloody tyrant time, and fortify yourself in your decay, which means more blessed than my barren rhyme. Now stand you on top of happy hours, and many maiden gardens you unset, with virtuous wish should bear you living flowers, much liker than your painted counterfeit, so should the lines of life that life repair. Which this, time's pencil or my pupil pen, neither in inward worth nor outward fair, can make you live yourself in eyes of men. To give away yourself keeps yourself still, and you must live, drawn by your own sweet skill. That was sonnet number 16 of Shakespeare's sonnets. I'm Mark Chatterley, and I'm joined by, I'm going to give him some adjectives this time, wonderful, brilliant hair dude, Thierry Heles. It was a compliment of sorts.
Thank you.
I just realised that people on the podcast can't see you, but he has at the moment this kind of fluffy fringe thing going on. It's very good.
It's mainly because I jumped out the shower and
he is wearing clothes. Just to put this out there toward his screaming female fans. He's wearing a shirt at least. I can't confirm or deny anything else. Sonnet 16. We haven't even talked about it a bit. This one you were just telling me because Thierry is good and does notes and reads up on things, whereas I just kind of read it and go, was telling me that there are some lines in this which confuse even the greatest Shakespeare scholars. So I'm sure we're going to crack them in this podcast. Is that right?
Obviously, we are the people to go to when scholars come. Well, it's mainly the line that is it line 10, which this time's pencil or my pupil pen, where apparently there's some confusion over what this refers to, whether it's the sonnet itself or the time's pencil or the pupil's pen. Three different interpretations which not exactly rule each other out, but don't really work together that well either, so you can't go with all three of them.
Yes. So my reading, my personal reading of that was, which this time's pencil, my pupil pen, was that in my head that should be a colon rather than a comma, I guess. And time's pencil or my pupil pen are the two options. Time's pencil referring to the fact that the sort of well-known image that time has got a book, the book of your life, and time writes the book of your life. So time is the author to your life and decides when it ends. Or my pupil pen, and that being a self-reference for Shakespeare being a writer where he controls the life of his characters on stage. That's how I read it as a complete, utter layman. So that's probably wrong. So we can rule out that one as a possibility.
Well, it does state that as one of the possibilities.
Excellent. See, the scholars agree with me. Me and you, we're going to be teacher jobs there in a course at Cambridge University on sonnets at some point.
I contain multitudes. Just go with that and be done. There are many possible interpretations, and no one really knows which one is the right one.
Yeah, you couldn't be a Cambridge scholar with that attitude. There is only one interpretation that's right, and that's yours. That's how it's done.
That's how it's.
So this sonnet keeps up the theme of time as a person, I guess, as a personificated entity in a way. We have time referred to make war upon this bloody tyrant time, because I guess if there is one mass murder in history, it is time, because everything succumbs to time in the end. You were just nodding your head at me, going, yes.
No,
keep talking, Mark.
You can do this. No, I'm just. Oh, that line is just annoying me.
Which this
time's pencil. Yeah.
And why does time only have a pencil, whereas Shakespeare has a pen? That blows my theory a little bit.
I do like the image of a time's pencil, though, rather than going on about the hands of time moving forward.
Yes. And the pencil implies
quite
it's
a nice
changeable and avoidable. Because pencil can be erased, whereas pen can't. Not without Tipex, and I don't believe they had Tipex.
I think you say that. That makes me wonder if it can be erased. Death basically erases life.
Yes.
So if he doesn't procreate, he that's it. There's nothing more to come, and eventually he will just be forgotten.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone will eventually be forgotten. Yeah. That's sad. Oh God, we're going with the cheery ideas for this one. I can cheer us up a little bit and ask whether it's just my dirty mind or is the line that actually reads "and many maidens' gardens yet unset" is as dirty as I'm reading it to be.
We've had a lot of masturbation in the poem so far.
Yeah, and it's just in my head, and I apologise to the listeners of my podcast, but I have heard the phrase "a woman's lady garden" to mean a specific part of a lady, and something to be unset is to be despoiled. So
it could probably very easily be read as unmarried girls.
Well, I
maiden
was
gardens
reading
yet
it.
unset. So
now,
yeah, women who are.
My reading was. Sorry. Now stand you on top of happy hours, and many maiden gardens yet unset, with virtuous wish would bear your living flowers. So the idea that he is bedding women on top of happy hours. So he's bedding many women for many hours, which would with their gardens. He's unsetting their gardens, but they are with virtuous would wish or wish would bear your living flowers. They would wish to bear your child, but he's not allowing them to because he's just having fun. That was my reading of those three lines. Much like
as in he is having sex, but he's not.
Yeah, he's
doing the virtuous thing
of bearing children, or well, not bearing, but bringing forth children, I guess. That's how I read it, but that could just be my dirty mind inferring, and the phrase "women's lady garden."
That does seem like a very reasonable reading, though. I can definitely see that.
I'm winning you over with my dirty ways. Excellent, but I could also see it actually being a literal garden and not having a ulterior motive at all.
It is Shakespeare, and we've had quite a few moments so far where he used a literal image to convey the also literal image, but a bit more dirty image than.
But it would be interesting to think of the young lover as having sex and just not bringing forward a child.
He did. I'm pretty sure he did talk about that in previous sonnets, where he basically insists that just enjoying himself is not enough. He needs to actually procreate and use the women's vessel to.
Yes, distill his essence.
Children.
Yes, rather
put
than
flowers in the garden.
Yeah, rather than making traffic with himself.
God, we really need to use that line more often.
It's a good line. We're going to bring about us and our listeners will bring about that as a new term, to make traffic with oneself, or to have traffic with oneself. I can't have traffic with oneself tonight, as there's a traffic jam, and it's got so many uses. Yes, are you still pondering your lines, or have you got other lines that are causing scholars issues that we can solve?
I think the rest of the poem is fairly clear.
Yes,
we're still going on with time as we did in Sonnet 15. I'm not sure you said it on the podcast or before we started recording. It can be read as a continuation of the previous sonnet. Not exactly as one, but it goes on with the same themes. And
yes,
Did we say that on the
ends with-
podcast?
Yeah, I don't think we did. No, that might have been in our pre-podcast chat. But just like we're saying, sort of just like sonnets 5 and 6, which were almost one larger sonnet chopped in two. This follows on in a similar vein, but maybe not as coupled together. I think the last two lines on this are quite interesting. To give away yourself keeps yourself still, which is quite interesting. And you must live drawn by your own sweet skill. So sweet comes back into it. But to give away yourself keeps yourself still. So if we're thinking about that in terms of time, then giving yourself away to giving your seed away and being born again keeps yourself still. So you're staying in one.
You're staying around, yeah.
Yeah, you're staying in one defined period, if that makes sense. You're always young rather than getting old, or a version of you may get old, but not all of you. Which is still messes with my head. The idea that your male child is you reborn.
It's a very strange idea, but then I mean they lived in a time where they thought the man was basically responsible for the creation, and the woman was just
a test tube.
Yeah, just a vassal. Yeah,
I like the way you say vassal rather than vessel. I like that. You
it's
and
my
your
weird accents,
crazy accent, saying our words wrongly.
I am a dearth.
You are a what? Sorry, a dearth. You are an utter dearth.
I'll keep using that word for idiot. I quite like the sound of it.
You're a dearth that just makes traffic with yourself all day long, is what you are. We should carry on looking at the poem, shouldn't we? It's like you say, it's rather self-explanatory. So that's why we keep wandering off. But wherefore do you not a mightier way make war upon this bloody tyrant time? Yeah, why aren't you standing up for time, against time? Time is out to kill you, and you're not doing anything to stop it. It's putting the onus on him, and if you merge that with my reading of he's having lots of sex and just not having children, he's literally in this for the fun of it, and he's not interested in fighting this war that we all need to fight. We all need to destroy time in our own way.
Very, very interesting image. Just a soldier refusing to go into battle, basically.
Yes. Yeah, that's what he is. He's a soldier on shore leave, just enjoying the food and the dancing and the girls, rather than fighting. With
no intention of ever going to actually fight the enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, and all that will happen is time will get him in the end, and he would die.
When he says fortify yourself in your decay, which is a very, very strong reproach to make of someone, basically saying you're not just running away, you're building a wall around you, and you want to die within that confined space. You have absolutely no intention of even trying to live forever.
And
Shakespeare defines it.
Fortifying yourself in your decay as well, he's becoming almost, I guess, proud of the signs of age. If you fortify yourself in something, it's protecting you. So he's becoming protected.
It's something that you want to protect, yeah.
Yeah. So his wrinkles, his what was the phrase that used earlier? The trenches in his forehead, the wrinkled trenches, and that's becoming his defense. And this is one of those sonnets where you read it and go, oh, that's quite a nice image, and then you start thinking about it more, and it's very deep. And I was trying to explain this to someone the other day who was asking me why I'm doing these sonnets, and I think it's because so many people read poetry and go, oh, that was a nice image, and think poetry is just about bringing these nice images to mind. And you read these sonnets by Shakespeare and you read them and you have oh, that's a nice image, and then you start thinking about it and you realise that there are all these sub-levels and connections that are obviously being placed there as well. And that's what makes, I think, Shakespeare so good at this, is that all of these deeper meanings have been carefully crafted and placed there. And it makes me upset as a writer that I can't do that. That's the best writing to read as a writer. You should read writing that makes you very upset that you can't write to that standard, I think. If you're a writer and you're reading something and you think, I could do that, that's not what you should be reading. That's my opinion anyway.
It's a very, very good opinion. I mean, they had... when they had the guilds, you had to copy your master's work for years and years and years and years and years before you were allowed to make your own creations. So
yes,
you learn through plucking apart other people's work and what tools. Because there are basically tools that you need, even in writing. There's a set of tools and skills that you use. It's as bad as that as uncreative as that makes it sound. There are tricks in writing that you use. I mean, personification, rhyme, rhythm. That's
and if you think you can sit down and just write a poem or a sonnet, you're probably wrong.
Especially Shakespearean. So I've tried writing Shakespearean sonnets just to get the rhythm right. It drives you insane.
Yeah.
So you have to have a certain amount of syllables in every line, and you have the line breaks at a certain point, and it just
certain rhyming structure. So this is A B C D C D. It's that kind of. If you've ever studied rhyming structures, it's A's rhyme, the B's rhyme, the C's rhyme, and they're very complex. And you can even get people create even more and more complex ones. But yeah, it's hard to constrain yourself to a certain rhythm and a certain rhyming pattern. Try it if you want, and send in your sample. Oh, let's have a Blue Peter. Yeah, try it. Try writing your own Shakespearean sonnet. Send them in, and if they're any good, we'll read them and talk about them. Why not?
They'll be sonnet 155 and onwards.
Yeah, your own sonnets. That would be amazing. Yeah, maybe. We shall see if we don't get to 154 and just want to kill Shakespeare again. We should, I guess, end this one. We've whittled on a bit about this. Would you like to read Sonnet 16, Thierry?
No, but I'll do it anyway.
Excellent.
Sonnet 16. But wherefore do not you a mightier way make war upon this bloody tyrant, time, and fortify yourself in your decay, which means more blessed than my barren rhyme. Now stand you on the top of happy hours and many maiden gardens yet unset, with virtuous wish would bear you living flowers, much liker than your painted counterfeit. So should the lines of life that life repair, which this time's pencil or my pupil pen, neither in inward worth nor outward fair, can make you live yourself in eyes of men. To give away yourself, keep yourself still, and you must live, drawn by your own sweet skill.
Excellent. That was sonnet number 16 from Shakespeare's Sonnets. I've been Mark Chatterley.
I have been Thierry Heles.
And we will see you again for Sonnet 17. Goodbye.
The end of the procreation sonnets.
Is it the last one? Excellent. You've been listening to Shakespeare's Sonnets with Mark Chatterley and Thierry Heles. This has been an In-Ear Entertainment podcast. To listen to other podcasts or find out more about In-Ear Entertainment, go to www.inearentertainment.com.